is there. It's why people were beginning prayer circles for Billy Donovan prior to Game 4 against Atlanta. The Knicks' entire season comes down to beating Detroit, and if it happens to be Cleveland, so be it. Beat them with the same energy. And the lack of energy is what did in the Sixers, who couldn't maintain any positive momentum coming out of the Boston series. They were tired and looked weak. Joel Embiid missed multiple games in each series again. Whatever giggles are left over from the trust the process days have been snuffed, and his future in the city is in question as he's set to begin making $60 million a year. He hasn't been able to play as much as he can with Paul George, who the Sixers both need on the floor to win. George tried, but he also couldn't bring enough to the table, which is troubling for a team that felt as though they could win now. Their shooters, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Quentin Grimes, and Justin Edwards, were stifled all series, finishing with a dud on Sunday, shooting a combined 15 of 45 and 3 of 24 from 3. Maxey, who was tremendous throughout the Celtics series, shrunk under the Knicks' relentless pressure, while his counterpart Jalen Brunson ran wild, scoring 116 points in 129 minutes and hearing MVP chants inside Xfinity Mobile. New York's bench outscored Philadelphia's 137-104 during the series and probably would have beaten the Sixers starters if they had been asked. After basically begging their fans not to sell their tickets, Philadelphia laid an egg for 3 games and then got swept off the floor in their home building, which really did become MSG South on Sunday. I know the Sixers have committed to this roster, but after 25 years of not making it out of the second round of the playoffs after watching this, I'm not sure next year is going to yield much different results. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-Minute Warning.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
It was the Roman poet Virgil, who said, "Easy is the descent to hell. All night long, all day, the doors of dark Hades stand open. But to retrace the path, to come out again to the sweet air of heaven, there is the task, there is the burden. If I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell." We'll talk about that later, but now it's time for Rick Tittle and Titillating Sports on Sports Byline USA. All right, thank you so much. Get my levels here. All right, Rick Tittle coming to you from the Sports Byline USA downtown San Francisco studios here on Broadway. And we are very excited to have you. I'm so excited. And I just can't find it. I know. 1-800-878-PLAY. That is the secret code. That's the number to call to be a part of the proceedings. I'll be on the mic for the next 3 hours taking your calls and emails. Email address is rick@sportsbyline.com. We stream through sportsbyline.com. Go there and click listen live on sportsbyline.com and just say over and over sportsbyline.com, and all your problems won't be solved, but you'll go insane. Also, the TuneIn app, the iHeartRadio app, the Stitcher app, and I'm on video. Look at that. Not just look at that, but look at that. I am on the, what's it called? Twitch and also YouTube, if I get it right. Don't all click on YouTube at once. We don't want to, like, break the internet. What's the sound David Spade makes when the internet shuts down? All right, we got some guests. We'll start off with Tom Gage and Alex Avila. They've combined to make a book about the top, not 50, not 100, not 200, top 400 tigers of all time. Bengal is number one. SalesPortTalk.com at 9:30. Bruce Marshall, an hour from now, from the Gold Sheet, will talk Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll have filmmaker Cynthia Hill at 10:25. She has a new documentary on Kyle Larson, NASCAR. We'll also have writer Nick Greene. He has a book called How to Watch Soccer Like a Genius. And a lot of open lines at 1-800-878-PLAY, 1-800-878-7529. Come on back.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with SportsBettingClaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Do you have diabetes? I'm sure you've seen the television commercials on the new CGM devices from all the top brands and how well they can help you manage your diabetes. Do you have the latest and newest in diabetes technology? The Diabetes Solutions Center carries most of the top brands, and the great news is your insurance may cover most of the cost. Call our special CGM hotline today, and our friendly representatives will help see if you qualify. You could get a new CGM from the top brands at little or no cost to you. Make living with diabetes easier. You are just one free phone call away to learn if your insurance covers the cost. So make this free call today to the Diabetes Solutions Center and learn for free how to get your new continuous glucose monitor.
800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. That's 800-520-8629.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline. We can help you sell your home. as is, no cleaning, no showings, and absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash. Whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just ready for peace of mind, call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome, he's a genius.
You're now listening to the Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. There's a brand new baseball book. It's very cool from Triumph Publishing. It's called Your Detroit Tigers, the Great, the Good, the Top 400, and with a foreword by Todd Jones, a great guy who 20 years ago he came in here and he bought lunch for everyone. So we're big fans of Todd Jones here. We're also fans of our next guests, the two gentlemen who wrote this book, Tom Gage, the broadcaster, or I should say the writer for a long time on for the Detroit News, and also Alex Avila, who all-star catcher who had a couple stints with the Tigers. First of all, Tom, let's start with you. I want to throw an anecdote at you. And I remember when the Tigers beat the A's, I was doing the pre and post for the A's, and there was a game in Oakland where a young rookie named Avila Garcia, he booted a ball in right, and the A's ended up walking it off. And I remember seeing all the Detroit writers. I'm sure you were probably there. And somebody said, Garcia, he's going to be a good one. And Leland's like, I don't know. He's a rookie. How do I know? I just loved the back and forth with you guys and Leland. What was it like covering Jim?
Oh, covering Jim was a delight. You know, you never knew what Jim you were going to run into. Sometimes he did his pregame interview from the bed in his office, and but he was so authentic and he was so honest. He's still to this day a great friend.
Great stuff. So now, Alex, when you're writing this book, do you try to squeeze yourself in like at 398? Come on, you tried, right?
Well, the one thing when my name came up, Tom did give me the option. Say, hey, do you want to talk about yourself in this book? And I was like, there's no way that I'm going to write anything about myself in this book. I'll leave that part about it up to you. And Tom wrote a really nice profile when my name came up on the list here, and which. He had also asked me, he goes, are you surprised on how high or low, you think you're expected to be higher or lower? I was like, no, where I'm at, that kind of seems just right with the type of Tigers career that I had. So, but yeah, I've gotten that question a lot, and there was no chance I was gonna be coming close or touching that subject on writing my own profile.
I got to ask you too, Alex, because we saw it out here with Mike Matheny near the end of his career, had so many foul balls hit his mask, and he had terrible concussion problems. And you are sort of known as, it doesn't affect you, but I mean, it did, right?
Yeah, no, I dealt with concussions throughout my career as well. And a lot of it stemmed just from, we had, a lot of pitchers that threw really hard. And that, especially at that time, I mean, everybody throws hard nowadays, but at least our staff during those years had multiple guys that can get it up in the mid-upper 90s. And, some of their fastballs would leak over the plate, and those foul balls were, I was kind of right in the way of those. And funny story, though, is in 2014, when Brad Ausmus took over as manager for when Jim had retired, he actually came up to me in spring training. He's like, hey, I want you to kind of mess around with, catching on a knee. This is before catching on a knee was a big thing. And, just like with, less than 2 strikes or when there's nobody on, I think it'll help keep you lower and kind of out of the way of some of those foul balls, to the point where, they would get me on video and actually measure the height of where my head was anytime I did that. And sure enough, it helped quite a bit. And my last concussion, which was in 2014, I was able to kind of avoid that the rest of my career until I retired in 21 without any issues again, kind of employing that kind of one knee catching stance, at times in order to just kind of get out of the way a little bit. And, so I credit him with kind of actually helping prolong my career a little bit, because for a few years there, it was definitely a period that I didn't know what to do, because it was, something that I was dealing with, and it ended Mike's career early, and I didn't want that to happen to me. So I credit Brad to kind of helping me figure that out.
Yeah, former catcher himself. All right, Tom. Just before I even opened the book, in my mind, now I grew up in the Bay Area, but I thought, geez, top 400, and I'm like, all right, it starts with Ty Cobb. There's no doubt about that. And then I thought Greenberg, K-Line, and then, of course, we get hit with the recency bias as well. But then again, we don't want to hold it against somebody for being recent. So how do you kind of work all that through?
Well, I didn't I didn't leverage recent against past very much. It's all a question of numbers. And really, the genesis of the book was about a recent athlete. When Miguel Cabrera retired, and one of the writers in the Detroit area called him the best Tiger hitter ever, I said, well, he was a great hitter, but I don't think he was the greatest. And I didn't really know where we should rank him. So I devised a system of 14 categories that basically told me where we should think of Cabrera on the list of all-time Tiger hitters. So he's on a list of on the same list as Cobb and Heilman and Gehringer and Crawford. I mean, it goes back to 1901, but I still have some of the current Tigers on the list.
So how does it work then when you get a guy, like we know who Ty Cobb is, but guys who played before we were around and we don't know, like Lou Blue, like how do you work out guys like that?
Yeah, I had never heard of Lou Blue, but, luckily MLB keeps a ranking of where players, their different statistics rank on the all-time list. And what I did, I just compiled their ranks and then totaled their ranks, and that amounted to points. And so longevity really had something to do with it, obviously. And I also put in defensive WAR because the players who were great defensively should be considered. And that's how Alan Trammell moved up quite high on the list. He was going to be in the top 10, but he ended up number 5. And some of the others dropped a little bit, but it was really a delight to do it because I'm such a numbers and stats guy, and it was really just a compilation of just all the numbers through the years.
Finally, for you, Alex, I mean, the Tigers. Look, we all have our favorite teams, but your dad's the GM. You get drafted by him. Your brother gets drafted by him. Your cousin gets drafted by him. I mean, you got to bleed orange and blue, right?
Yeah, no, it's Detroit and the Tigers organization is deeply rooted in our family, no doubt. I think, my brother, his baseball career didn't last too long, but ended up working for them as one of their legal counsels after going to law school. And then my cousin, after pitching in the minor leagues for a few years, is an area scout for them and has been an area scout for them for over the last decade. And so the organization is deeply rooted in our family, and it's something our family kind of takes a ton of pride in. Growing up, my grandfather worked for the Dodgers for over 50 years. So, the Bleed Dodger Blue was very prevalent as I was a kid. And then obviously my dad kind of starting that, type of legacy with the Tigers, and then myself playing for the Tigers, and then my brother and cousin kind of getting involved in that has definitely made the Tigers kind of our team, or the team that we love to follow and still to this day root for. But Detroit holds a special place in my heart and our family's existence, and I absolutely love the Old English D. So that's when Tom asked me about kind of joining him on this venture with this book. It was an easy yes for me, because just to be able to kind of go through the history and then also have conversations with Tom about some of the great Tigers history, which we did on a regular basis while I was a player, and he was covering the team. That was able just to continue while we were kind of working on this together.
I know a lot of people like the Yankee pinstripes, and obviously for a good reason. But for me, and I grew up in Oakland as an A's fan, the coolest uniforms in baseball are those home whites with that D. And
Yep.
It's just, haven't changed for 100 years. It's just amazing. All right, I could talk to you guys all day, but we're out of time. Everybody pick up from Triumph Publishing your Detroit Tigers, the great, the good, and the top 400 from our guests, Tom Gage and Alex Avila. Gentlemen, congrats on the books, and thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
No, thanks for having us.
All right, good stuff. And not Thomas Gage. Thomas Gage was the head of the British Army during the Revolutionary War. Anybody else think that? Me? Just me? Bueller? Come on back.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work. Real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call and save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payment's interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this number right now.
800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. That's 800-832-2816.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. The America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
People ask me, were you must have been the class clown, and I say, no, I wasn't. But I sat beside the class clown, and I studied him.
Rick Tittle once threw a tennis ball at a donkey.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. And coming up in the next segment, we will have Karen Lyle with a guest from SalesPortTalk.com. SalesPortTalk.com. Sound like Obama there. SalesPortTalk.com. All right, well, I don't know how many people are, panicked about it, but LeBron James might have taken his last shot in the NBA at 41 years old as they were swept by OKC. And this question has been asked every offseason for about the last 5 years at least. He's accomplished everything he's want to accomplish, but he's also really good. We thought if he hangs around enough, maybe he can play with his son. He's done that. Obviously, his son isn't as good as him because nobody is. And that's hard. That's why he doesn't go by LeBron Jr. He goes by Bronny, which is smart. When I was in high school, Willie Brown lived a few blocks from me, and his son, Willie Brown Jr., played. He was the same age as me, and he played football for St. Mary's High. In Berkeley, I played for Salesian High in Richmond. They were one of our rivals in the old CAL, Catholic Athletic League. It's in the 80s. Well, 79, the first time I played them. But that was De La Salle and St. Elizabeth's, which didn't have a football team. Moreau, which was in Hayward. And St. Pat's, which is now St. Patrick St. Vincent, in Vallejo. All right, nobody cares. Anyway, St. Joe's was not in it, by the way. They were playing in the Oakland League. But I remember playing against Willie Brown Jr., and he was playing tailback, and he ran all over us. Anyway, it's hard to live up to that junior name when you have it. But getting back to LeBron, is he going to go? If he is going to go, there was no fanfare or standoff, or I should say send-off. That's kind of how Tim Duncan went out. You can go out with the fanfare. And I remember very well when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar announced, this will be my last year. And everywhere he went, he got gifts. And at the time, Kareem had been swindled. I don't know the details, but he gave all his money to people he trusted who either made horrible investments or stole it or both. But he was almost penniless. And so he kept getting these elaborate gifts. And the Warriors, I'll never forget, because I was working that game on TV, they wheeled out a boat. It was a little dinghy, kind of like Tommy Boy's boat, like a two-seater with a sail. And on the sail it said, Captain Splits. I can't even say it. Captain's Slip, because he was known as Captain. Like he called, Magic was Buck, because he called him Young Buck. So it was Captain and Buck and all his nicknames. We didn't call him, but P''N and then SLIP, like the kind of boat. Captain Slip. Here's a boat for you. It was kind of weird. But then again, he needed the tour, but LeBron is 41. All right. So, Michael Jordan, he retired a couple times. His last year when he was 40, Tim Duncan was 40, Dirk Nowitzki was 40. But you look at Larry Bird, he was 35, Magic was 36. And he said after the game, I don't know what the future holds for me, obviously, as it stands right now tonight. I got a lot of time. He said last year after we lost to Minnesota, go back and recalibrate my family and talk with them and spend some time with them. And when the time comes, you guys know what I decide to do. Now, the other thing is LeBron has played in hundreds of playoff games. So he's actually played seasons more than anybody else who would play 41 years. But, this is on brand for him. Remember, he turned the decision into a national television event. Last chance he was going to say goodbye in the late hours in some sweaty, smelly locker room after getting swept. But these things take time and planning with a guy like that. There'll be pomp, there'll be pageantry, there'll be bunting, the church bells will ring. And he's going to probably do like what another Laker like Kareem did, and that's Kobe. Kobe had his retirement tour. And I know a guy who had a mini plan, and he sold his Kobe ticket, and he said it paid for the mini plan in of itself. And remember that game where Kobe hoisted up 50 shots? Now, Kobe was 37. If LeBron feels great, he could probably play until he's 45. He really could. He's played more minutes, games, and seasons than anybody in the history of the NBA. If he's supposed to be slowing down, somebody forgot to tell him, somebody forgot to tell his body. He played 60 games this year. He made the All-Star team for the 22nd time. As I said, he's really good. Countless records, countless highlights. And, he wasn't the main guy anymore. If they needed a shot, it was probably Luka or maybe even Austin Reeves. But James was well aware of that. And a lot of times he had the ball and he would take a three anyway. But if you look at what they call usage, in other words, how much you're going to take a shot and handle, it was the lowest of his career. In other words, they didn't use him as much, but that doesn't mean they didn't use him a lot. But think about near the end of the season. Doncic goes down. Reeves looked like he was out for the playoffs. And so he's playing with guys like DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard. What's he supposed to do with that? And so it's for all the physical tools, I think it's easy to forget that James, he thinks about basketball at a higher level. The IQ is off the charts, and unfortunately, he learned that taking dives and flopping is probably smart for his. Now, that's not saying he's Franco Harris, who ran out of bounds so he wouldn't get tackled. And I remember at the time people said, that's smart, your career will last longer. And in super macho 70s, no, you were a wuss. Before you're going to get tackled, you ran out of bounds. That's where the ball was going to be anyway. The other thing to remember is that James is a free agent. And they tried to squeeze one last multi-year deal out of the Lakers, and the Lakers declined. They prioritized cap space. So I'm not the first, I'm sure, to start it, but I'll start it now. 1-year deal, Golden State Warriors. You want to play with Steph. You've always wanted to play with Steph. Steve Kerr's coming back. Draymond has an option, so he'll be coming back now that Kerr is. Curry's already under contract for a couple more years. You sign that deal. You come up Highway 5. You park your butt in San Francisco. And there you go. You had your time with the Lakers. You had 2 stints with Cleveland. You're already a legend in Miami. But no, that's done. All right. So come up to Golden State, play with the broken down Warriors, and then we can all take over-under of when Draymond was going to snap on LeBron. Like J.R. Smith, what are you doing, dummy? I thought it was tied. No. All right. We'll come on back with Karen Lyle and Liz Parkinson on the other side.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
I get a lot of calls from people across the country who are suffering from the affliction of IRS tax debt. Hi, I'm the tax doctor. Call me right now. My team specializes in helping people over the age of 50 solve their tax problems. And the bigger your tax problem is, the more money you can save. If you owe the IRS money, or you're about to owe the IRS money, or even if you need to file years of unfiled returns, call us right now. Our friendly, highly trained representatives are waiting right now to take your call. Over the years, we've helped thousands of people like you stop tax liens, wage garnishments, harassing phone calls. You don't need to send the IRS a big fat check. We can negotiate a lower amount. That's what we guarantee for you. So call us right now.
800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
This deer season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage. We're bringing you the best that's cash off on some new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize pack. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/season to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
All right, thank you for that. And it is a Tuesday at 9:40 Pacific time. Rick Tittle with you on Titillating Sports, and this is when we check in with our friend Karen Lyle from sporttalk.com, who, as per usual, will co-host this segment with me. How you doing, Karen? Are you still in England or are you stateside?
I'm still in England, yes. I'm living between both places, you know. I'm in both places at the same time. I'm right now in England, and I'm in San Francisco. Did you know that?
That is great stuff. I'm jealous. All right, let's bring in our guest. It is Liz Parkinson, very talented woman with some amazing skills, an elite underwater performer, free diver, and groundbreaking, I should say, work in film, including Avatar, The Way of Water. Liz, welcome to the show. How did you know that you had this? Did somebody made it up?
Hey guys, good morning. Karen, thank you guys for having me. I was a swimmer in college. I grew up in South Africa and was recruited when I was just 18 over to the US on a scholarship. And one thing kind of led to another. I finished my swimming career, fell into scuba diving, became a free diving instructor, and just started traveling the world, holding my breath, diving with sharks, taking people diving, and experiencing the amazing underwater world all over the world, from the UK to South Africa and ending in the Caribbean, and then working my way out here to California.
So tell me about the difference between scuba diving and free diving. I've done a little bit of free diving, but with no instruction in Zanzibar, because that was before I became a scuba diver. But you were in Avatar, where you were moving through the water, where scuba diving is oftentimes you get that neutral buoyancy thing. So tell us the difference between those two.
Sure. So on Way of Water and Fire and Ash, we actually were on breath hold the whole time because of the motion capture technique that James Cameron developed for the making of the film. We weren't able to be on scuba just because when you're on scuba, you're carrying a tank on your back. So you have a cylinder of air, compressed air, where you inhale and exhale, spending anywhere between 20 to 40 minutes to an hour underwater. With free diving, it's quite the opposite. You don't have a cylinder on your back. You're basically taking the air from the surface that we breathe down underwater. And on Avatar, we did all our performance on breath hold to minimize the bubbles in the water, which would take away from the motion capture that he had developed. And so it's like one, you're breathing underwater with the cylinder, and the other, you're carrying the air with you in your lungs.
I remember when Janet Evans won gold medals at the Olympics as a swimmer out of Stanford, and she didn't have the typical swimmer's body. She was like 5'4", and then they realized they did some tests, and physically she was different than other humans. She didn't require as much oxygen, and she was almost fish-like. Do you kind of find yourself, do you think you're different with your blood cells or your lungs or anything like that?
Well, a tremendous amount of training, Rick, goes into performance swimming. Yes, I always say I wish I kind of knew more about the breath hold that I have now when I was a competitive swimmer, because I think it definitely would have been beneficial to me in a way that I didn't experience when I was training at that level. But like any athlete, you're conditioning your body. It doesn't necessarily have to be a water sport. But definitely in the water. I mean, I'm not 5'4", I'm 5'11". So I was a sprinter. So my reach is quite high, especially when I dive off the block. I sort of had that was my superpower, I guess, when I was a competing athlete. But yeah, training and conditioning is a huge part of it, and the rate at which your blood can transport oxygen through your body, and the recovery rate, the lack of buildup of all the negative gases, I guess, and blood transfer of oxygen is hugely important.
Just one follow-up to that. Do you know how long you can hold your breath, like just to test it out?
Yeah, I get asked that question a lot, actually. It really depends. Breath hold, that's called static apnea, where never to be done by yourself at home, but it's the typical lying on the surface with your face in the water. My breath hold in a situation where I'm not exerting any energy is just over 6.5 minutes. But when I'm active, obviously it takes away from the performance, because you're moving, you're burning the oxygen a lot faster in your body than you were if you're just lying flat on the surface and not moving, lowering your heart rate, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it really depends on what I'm doing in the water as to how long I can hold my breath.
Well, Liz, you said you're not making bubbles when you were doing the film making technique. How do you submerge or go lower in the water if you're not releasing the air? Because oftentimes that causes you to float. Is that just where you're swimming or pushing with your legs and arms?
Yeah, great question, Karen. And definitely coming back to the statement you made about neutral buoyancy. So we actually carried weight on us. So that would neutralize our buoyancy underwater. Like I just mentioned, when it came to performance, sometimes the breath hold is not required for too long. So we don't actually fully take a big breath, being and creating this massive bubble in your chest, this big balloon of air definitely changes that buoyancy to way more positive. So we would use neck weights, and then we would actually attach the weights to us either via a weight belt, or we had a system that worked for us just because we were carrying a lot of equipment and a lot of different vehicles and scooters underwater with us. We actually attached it to our suits. So the weight of the lead would compensate for our breath hold and make us neutral in the water.
Have you ever had to deal with the bends?
Thankfully, not me, Rick. I have friends who have been bent, but no, that only comes in with sort of a scuba diving situation, ascending too fast from depth, whilst breathing compressed air at depth, the nitrogen bubbles in your body expanding faster than the rate they should. But there's a lot of safety protocol and measures that take part in being safe underwater. You can't fly 24 hours after you've dived, things like that, which all help keep people safe and hopefully prevent the bends. That's definitely something you don't want to have to deal with.
Well, and you also perform in full character underwater. Give us an example of the actor training, because you're performing in a character as you're swimming. How do you get into that character, and are you coached?
Great question. Yes, it really depends on what the stunt is. Sometimes if a stunt is just purely physical, meaning it's a jump or a fall, something like that, where we can hide our faces, we've been trained throughout the years, especially for me specifically, underwater being my area. I know what to do and how to do to make it look right, to compliment the actor, to make them look good. But there are some actors who like you to do things in a specific way. And so you creating a relationship with them. For me, I do a lot of training as well. I'm actually about to do that in about an hour with an actor. And so I'll take them through the process of their action, what it is that is required of them in the scene that they're performing. And then, excuse me, if I'm the one doubling them, I learn how they are, how they move, what they like to see, what they don't like to see. Some actors are very hands-on and are very specific and ask you to repeat a sequence a couple of times so that the director and the editors have some difference to choose from. Others are not that specific, and as long as you make them look good, then they're happy with it. But you do build a relationship, and I've stayed in touch with several actors that I've worked with, and for that reason, they either know and like the way I move or the way I train them. Another side of it is I also train their stunt double. So for me, I don't always train women. I train men as well, of all different ethnicities and cultural backgrounds. So I'll take them and their double and train them together so they learn off each other. Water's quite a specific medium, so what necessarily works on land doesn't always copy straight over to the water. So it's important for them not only to feel comfortable, but also for it to look and sell to the audience when the final edit is seen on either television or TV.
Probably one of the only times in your life where you felt really short was when you took that picture with Shaq. It looks like you're standing on a dock. What was that all about?
You saw that, yeah. So Shaq, amazing man, such a cool dude. We were in the Bahamas shooting Shark Week. He did a series of episodes several years ago, and I will say, Rick, I am tall, but I've never felt, as you said, so short. It's just staggering to see a man of such size. I mean, he's like this gentle giant. He really is. He just makes everyone so at ease around him. He's so obliging to his fan group, especially kids. Like, kids always running up to him, and he spends quite a bit of time in the Bahamas. So he didn't only just come out for that Shark Week episode. I dived with him and took him shark diving a couple times with various friends and family that he had. Yeah, I think that specific photo, we are on a dock, and I felt his hand was like, it pretty much covered my entire neck and shoulder. It was it was wild. But yeah, that was for Shark Week several years ago.
And Karen, we have time for one more question.
So you create a relational field with the actor in the water and with those who are photographing with you. What does that feel like for you to interact in the energy of someone else when you're portraying them?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate in my career, and I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing people, not all of them visual celebrities on television, but, CEOs, people who own companies who just have such an amazing presence around them. It is interesting. These people who I work with definitely have a presence. They walk onto a pool deck and that someone's there, someone important's there. And I just embrace it. They are who they are, and I'm there to help them be the best they can be in the environment that I know the best. And I feel like most of them understand that. And if I wasn't good at what I did, I wouldn't be there to make them look to make them look the way they want to and be perceived in the water environment. It's great. I've been fortunate in my life to be surrounded by a lot of people who are from all walks of life. And at the end of the day, they are just people. We're all doing a job. We all want to be safe. And the arts are amazing. They're entertaining. They're consistent. People love to see these people excel on the big screen. And I'm just fortunate that I'm in a position where if I'm not doubling them, I'm able to be very close to them in the water to make sure that they achieve what they want.
There she is, the very talented, the Springbok, Liz Parkinson. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Thank you, Liz.
And Karen, once again, really good guest. Nice job.
Well, I also want to thank Patty Mangan for working behind the scenes to help when I'm between things, because she also helps enormously in the Salesport Talk Show.
Great stuff. Have fun in England. I'm jealous.
Well, you're going to come join me sometime. You are, Rick.
All right, when you send the PJ. All right, Karen, salesporttalk.com for more information. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, we'll do.
All right, well, come on back on Byline.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract, even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. That's 800-826-4073.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Right now, you can switch from cable television to satellite television for free. That's right, we're offering free equipment, free installation, plus get a free $100 prepaid Visa card. Call the Satellite TV hotline right now. Make the switch from cable to satellite television and expand your viewing horizon. On top of free installation, for a limited time, we're offering a fixed price guarantee. With satellite TV, you'll save money over your expensive cable bill. Plus, get access to hundreds of channels. And when you call right now, you can also ask about our seniors and military discounts. So make the switch to satellite TV right now. Everybody gets free installation, free equipment, plus a $100 prepaid Visa card. Call right now and you can switch to satellite TV and be watching everything you wanted to within the next week. And remember, installation's free, so call right now. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
I hope I don't see you for a while. Getting sick of you.
Take your sick ass in the hospital.
I don't want to walk around with you. I don't want to walk around with you. I don't want to walk around with you. So I don't want to walk around with you. I don't want to walk around with you. I don't want to walk around with you.
Rick Tittle can usually be found at He Baby Mama House.
All right, thank you for that. And yeah, very interesting guest. With Liz Parkinson, I was looking at some of the pictures. And there's an awesome one. She's standing inside the deck of a sunken ship, and she's looking up. It's not AI either. It's not ChatGPT. She's looking up, and there's like 40 sharks swimming all around while she's in a sunken ship looking out. Now, that would be a cool picture anyway, but she has no oxygen tank. So these things where, now she didn't give me an answer, bless her heart, when I said, how long can you hold your breath? Because she said it depends on what I'm doing. And obviously, if you're exerting yourself, you can't last as long as if you're staying in a catatonic state. I get that. But to these thrill seekers, I have to, maybe I shouldn't call her a thrill seeker, maybe that's pejorative, but these people who have these skills to do this stuff, which most of us think is nuts, but to go way, it looks like she's at least like 20 feet down, probably more, but to like go into a sunken ship, stand there, wait for somebody to take your picture, there's sharks all around you, and you're holding your breath the whole time. That's nuts. All right. We got a lot of guests. Everyone's talking about them. Fake news. Come on back.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. Well, Philadelphia fans, at least the Phillies took the last two from Colorado to take that series. All sarcasm aside, the Flyers hockey team is very raw but also very talented. They made a huge step up this season, and there's no shame in getting swept by an elite unit like the Carolina Hurricanes. That same courtesy can't really be extended to the 76ers, who were also swept by the New York Knicks, who now advanced to the NBA Eastern Conference Finals for the second year in a row. And a lot of that credit goes to the Knicks, who have found another gear after sleepwalking through games 2 and 3 against Atlanta in the first round. They treated this series as if it was a tune-up fight with a lower-rated opponent they wanted to get out of the way quickly because their big money fight was next. And it is. Making the conference finals wasn't the goal. Beating Detroit and winning it is. I mean, it's why Tom Thibodeau got fired last year and why Mike Brown is there. It's why people were beginning prayer circles for Billy Donovan prior to Game 4 against Atlanta. The Knicks' entire season comes down to beating Detroit, and if it happens to be Cleveland, so be it. Beat them with the same energy. And the lack of energy is what did in the Sixers, who couldn't maintain any positive momentum coming out of the Boston series. They were tired and looked weak. Joel Embiid missed multiple games in each series again. Whatever giggles are left over from the trust the process days have been snuffed, and his future in the city is in question as he's set to begin making $60 million a year. He hasn't been able to play as much as he can with Paul George, who the Sixers both need on the floor to win. George tried, but he also couldn't bring enough to the table, which is troubling for a team that felt as though they could win now. Their shooters, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Quentin Grimes, and Justin Edwards were stifled all series, finishing with a dud on Sunday, shooting a combined 15 of 45 and 3 of 24 from 3. Maxey, who was tremendous throughout the Celtics series, shrunk under the Knicks' relentless pressure, while his counterpart Jalen Brunson ran wild, scoring 116 points in 129 minutes and hearing MVP chants inside Xfinity Mobile. New York's bench outscored Philadelphia's 137-104 during the series and probably would have beaten the Sixers starters if they had been asked. After basically begging their fans not to sell their tickets, Philadelphia laid an egg for 3 games and then got swept off the floor in their home building, which really did become MSG South on Sunday. I know the Sixers have committed to this roster, but after 25 years of not making it out of the second round of the playoffs, after watching this, I'm not sure next year is going to yield much different results. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-Minute Warning.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busy work. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports. I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Thank you so much, and welcome back to the show. Got some guests lined up this hour. Bruce Marshall, our friend from the Gold Sheet, will come and right after this break, and we'll talk some Stanley Cup playoffs, as we like to do with Bruce. At 10:25, there's a NASCAR documentary on Prime coming up in a couple weeks, and a little over a week. Cynthia, the filmmaker, will join us. And then a guy who's written a soccer book, Nick Greene, for newbies to understand what's going on. Talk to him. Remember Big Dumper last year? People were like, he has to be MVP, and I was like, he's hitting like 45 points below Aaron Judge, who has almost the same amount of home runs. And you could argue he plays the toughest position. Look, in other years, he probably should have won, and I would have been on his side, but he didn't deserve it last year. Well, he's playing the worst baseball of his life, almost a month and a half into the season. And yesterday, he went 0 for 4. He's 0 for the last 36. He's batting 157, which is the second worst batting average in baseball for batters that qualify. Now, the good news is he does what he does well. He's still an excellent backstop at 371. It's like, guys, I remember talking with John Baker about Jeff Mathis, who hit like 100, and teams kept acquiring him because whenever he caught, the staff ERA went down a run. Alex Avila, who I just had on, he's like a career 230 hitter, but he caught a Cy Young in Verlander and Cy Young in Scherzer. That's why you have guys like that. That's people say, why would Cleveland want Patrick Bailey? He can't hit. He's a 2-time Gold Glover. If he can do that, you have somebody else in the line who can make up for his putrid bat. That's the way it works. But anyway, right now, Cal Raleigh is big dumping in other ways. 1-800-878-PLAY. Check me out on YouTube and Twitch. Come on back.
Every champion has a team behind them. For thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion. Their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinic.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy. Health meets hope, and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled KATY.org. Team up with them today.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to back in. Visit createassistance.ai and call today. or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
We call ourselves ASAP Travel for one reason. We can help you book a ticket ASAP. For those of you that don't know, that means as soon as possible. That means no wait time. You get through right away. No searching online. Our specialty is the lowest available fares on the big-name airlines. You know them. We can't tell you their names. You can fly domestically or internationally and save more money than you could if you call the airlines directly. Our proprietary software goes underneath the hood of the major airline booking systems and finds you the best rates available. So if you're ready to make your travel plans right now, business or vacation travel, we have all the major airlines, always at great rates. Call ASAP Trips, and we'll have your ticket in your inbox in 15 minutes. Call this number now.
800-364-2984. 800-364-2984. 800-364-2984. That's 800-364-2984.
Hour 2 of titillating sports. You thought it couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Hour 2 of titillating sports.
Hey, check out Channel 9. Check out Rick Tittle.
Thanks for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome back to the show our friend Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet, and we talk Stanley Cup playoffs right now. Bruce, welcome, and before we get into that, I saw that Macklin Celebrini at 19 was named captain of Team Canada for the Worlds. I would have thought maybe they'd throw him an A. But, I remember Jonathan Taves, I think, was that age when he was captain of the Blackhawks. But were you surprised that Canada is like, hey, Celebrini's the man?
Yeah, a little bit, only because he's 19, but not because the way he's played. He's played like he should be a captain. He's obviously arrived. He's the star. We saw him in the Olympics and what he's done for the Sharks. So only because he's so young. That's the only reason I'd be a little surprised. But he deserves it.
Let's talk about the Knights and the Ducks, because Mitch Marner in the offseason, when things kind of got sour at Toronto and he was going to leave, and a lot of us here in San Jose was like, come to the Sharks, come to the Sharks. And there were stories that he was thinking about it, and he ended up in Vegas. And not an amazing season, but right now he is the best player in the Stanley Cup playoffs. He leads in every category, and he passed Jack Eichel's record with the team for the first 10 postseason games. What is going on with Mitch Marner?
Yeah, it looks like he's finally found his stride, and maybe Torts has been able to flip the switch with Marner. He had kind of a slow start this season for Vegas, but especially the scoring goals. He had some assists, but the goal scoring was a little down. Then it started to pick up. Right now, if they had to name a Conn Smythe winner right now, Rick, I think it would probably be Marner. But big asterisk there. The Golden Knights are going to have to win to advance, and I don't think that's a sure thing at all in this series. One thing I'd point out about the Golden Knights here now, it's that Torts is sticking with Carter Hart in goal. Now, Aiden Hill did have some injury problems late in the season, but he is available as far as I can tell. Let's not forget, Hart only played 18 games this regular season. He's played every minute of the first 10 Golden Knights playoff games here. He had not played an NHL game for his variety of reasons for 2 seasons before he showed up after New Year's this year for Vegas. So he's getting a sort of workload that would not be normal for a guy who has played so little in the NHL for a couple of years. And I think he's starting to wobble a bit. Those are some soft goals he gave up, and especially in Game 4. And I think this is the Achilles heel for the Golden Knights that may knock them out. I think Anaheim's got a real chance in this series, Rick.
Let's talk about the Canes. And as I've told you before, I went to a Canes game last year in Raleigh, and it was a lot of fun. But, as a Sharks fan, but I'm fond of them because of the fun environment of that game. Well, who would have thought that they would be and what the Flyers, no chance. What's going on with the Canes? Can they go all the way like they did in the Brett Anakin days?
It looks like they can. I mean, it's, we're thinking back, and they get to the finals, and let's say it's against Colorado. That would be an all XWHA final because, of course, the Canes were the Whalers and the Avs were the
Nordiques.
The Nordiques in their old life. That's how it was when they won the Cup in '06. That was also an old WHA because that was Edmonton the other way. So anyway, just a little throwback thought there. It looks to me, Rick, like they are the favorite right now. Although in the East, I mean, I think a Colorado-Carolina final will probably be a toss-up. But maybe it's just their time. And they had run into, these teams, Florida in particular, the past few years had been standing in Carolina's way. And they had knocked them out before that. And there was the Tampa Bay cycle in the East, and there was the Florida cycle. Maybe we're in the Carolina cycle right now. All the pieces seem to be fitting there. They play a heavy game. Defense is just smothering. Frederick Anderson is on fire in goal. They have all sorts of guys who can step up, whether it be Svechnikov, whether it be Aho, whoever it is. They have a bunch of guys there who can score. And Rod Brindamore just seems to have these guys primed. And they're going to get more rest into the next round because it looks to me like this, Montreal's doing pretty good with Buffalo, but Carolina's going to be well rested for the second straight round, and that's never a bad idea this time of year.
Although, Bruce, they potentially could be off for 11 days. That's which is unheard of. But let's talk about those Sabres and Habs. They're up 2-1 in Montreal, and tonight they're going to go again. And Buffalo doesn't want to throw away this great season. Do you see them bouncing back?
I think they're in trouble. And I'm not sure what Lindy Ruff's going to do tonight. We talk about the goalies. He was apparently, he made a switch early in the Boston series. He went away from Luukkonen and went to Alex Lyon, who really excelled the rest of the way in the Boston series and started off this series good. But he has wobbled some, and so is Buffalo's defense. And apparently, Lindy Ruff was thinking about going back to Luukkonen for Game 3, didn't, and Lyon again got shelled. I think they are having trouble skating with Montreal. Montreal looks a step quicker. Dobish in goal looks like he's outplaying whether it be Lyon or Luukkonen. I'd rather have Dobish right now. He can steal them a game like he did in the Tampa Bay series. And they have guys who seem to be able to step up, Suzuki and others. And Marty St. Louis, there's a little bit of magic about him, what he's doing here. I think, Buffalo, I think it's probably goes 6. I think Montreal wins tonight, and maybe Buffalo stays alive. But listen, since Game 1, this has been one-way traffic, 11-3? They've outscored Buffalo the last 3 games. I think the Sabres are in trouble.
Yeah, I was listening to the Bill Burr podcast, and he's a Bees fan, and he's like, Lindy Ruff figured us out. He figured us out. So let's see if he can figure out Montreal now. Now, before I let you go, when I think about the Hart and the Norris, you just think of the Lanch. Well, McKinnon and Makar, respectively. But a lot of times, even if those guys are deserving, we've seen in sports, people want new names, like maybe Kucherov or Werenski. What do you think about those battles?
Yeah, I think Kucherov has a shot here with McKinnon. I think it's one or the other. McKinnon's probably the favorite, and it's supposed to be on what happened in the regular season, and so Kucherov, him being knocked out, should hurt his candidacy. It shouldn't. So I think probably Kucherov there. Makar, I'll tell you the one a lot of people are talking about is Zach Werenski. Columbus, I think, there's a lot of support for him, maybe winning the Norris this year, although Makar, he's going to be up there every year for it, and he'd be a nice fallback choice. But I think Werenski that's the newer name I'd be looking for to win one of these awards, and that's the one I would look at for the Norris.
All right, what's going on with the Gold Sheet?
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, we got a lot going on here. Everything is cooking. We got these playoffs going, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball going, end of the season, Euro Soccer, World Cup a month away. We never get a rest, but that's kind of how we like it. So check out all my picks. They're under the WagerTalk.com umbrella. WagerTalk.com, the goldsheet.com is there. We'll be filling that up with more stuff towards football season. And, of course, winners and whiners and picksandparlays.com, all there under WagerTalk.com.
All right, next time we talk, we'll be talking about some conference finals, the Final Four and the Stanley Cup playoffs. Bruce Marshall, great stuff as always, my friend.
Thank you, Rick.
All right, let's take a quick break. We will come on back and talk a little NASCAR.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline. We can help you sell your home as is, no cleaning, no showings, and there are absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash. Whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just ready for peace of mind, call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143.
Okay, just hold on. I'm just gonna jump into one without thinking. No thinking. I'm just gonna let it flow. Let it flow now. Fast car on the highway, on the byway, Mr. Robotron. Okay, that's not a good one.
So hard to beat. Every time she walks down the street, another girl in the neighborhood. Wish she was mine, she looks so good. I wanna hold her tight. Get teenage kicks right through the night.
If you're thinking about calling Rick Tittle, just put down that phone and shut your ugly face.
All right. Thank you for that. Welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, nationally syndicated out of San Francisco, California, and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome to the show award-winning filmmaker Cynthia Hill. She has a brand new documentary entitled Kyle Larson versus the Double. This will premiere on Prime Video on the 21st of this month. And this, of course, follows Kyle Larson, who attempted to race in the Indianapolis 500, get on a PJ, and then go to Charlotte to compete in the Coca-Cola 600. So open wheel, back to stock cars. Cynthia, welcome to the show. And I love the eclectic tastes that you have in your films, because you never know what you're going to get from you. You have varied interests, don't you? You're not like blinders on one topic.
Of course, yeah. It's wherever the story takes me.
Now, being a North Carolina native, is this kind of in your blood, the NASCAR stuff, or are you far removed from it?
I would say that it's definitely in my blood. I grew up watching races every Sunday. My granddaddy was a huge Richard Petty fan, and so it was inevitable that, I had to sit there and learn about racing just from that experience. But when I moved away from North Carolina, I was in New York for a while and then came back, I was reintroduced to the sport again, and so it's been something I've been following since then.
You probably had a lot of STP stickers as a kid, right? In the 70s, I had those because Petty was the man. All right.
He was. He still is the man. It's so fun seeing him at the track. Anytime you see that black hat walk by, it's like you have to kind of pause and take it in.
He's got like the turkey feathers in it and all that, yeah. Now, what's interesting about Kyle Larson for me, because I'm a NorCal guy, and his idol was Jeff Gordon. Gordon and Larson are California guys, which is kind of rare for NASCAR.
It's true, but apparently not so rare because they keep repeating.
All right, so when did you say, hey, let me get our camera crew and we're going to join you at the hip and we're going to experience all this? Did he think, look, it's a biggest distraction already, or did he think, sounds great?
I think he really was open to the idea of documenting this journey early on. I got a call about it maybe like September of 23 and asked if I was interested in it. And my main question and concern was, is Kyle interested in it? Because if he really wants us to follow this process, we have to follow the process, and that means being there for the good, bad, and the ugly. And he said he was down, so for me it was like, at that point, a no-brainer, because who wouldn't want to go on this kind of journey? I mean, how exhilarating it is.
Well, and then you think about the separate disciplines of open wheel. You're going much faster, you're going fast in a stock car as well, but, 500, 600... It's 1,100. I can do the math there. That's 1,100 miles. Were there any people that gave pushback, like, because in those communities, it's not all lovey-dovey. They don't like each other, and it's like there shouldn't be a man that does this. You're taking a spot away from a deserving person.
I didn't see any of that, and maybe I just wasn't part of any of those conversations. But from the very beginning, there was just a lot of excitement about Kyle attempting this. I think because Kyle is so diversified already, and the types of cars and types of fans that he brings to the table, it made sense that he would try this.
So what about his family, his friends, his pit crew, all of that? Did they say, look, the human body can't take this, or sounds like fun, but you're going to fall asleep at the wheel? Like, what were the type of the warnings he got?
Not many from what I saw. Everybody was so supportive and very much cheerleaders for him. I rarely captured anything that seemed remotely negative or concerning. I think everybody felt that if anyone could do it, Kyle could do it. You know, his schedule is nuts to begin with. He's racing so many nights a week, and when you take a typical NASCAR driver who's racing just on the weekend, and his schedule's already just completely packed with racing. And so, in fact, when we were there for the 2 Indy weeks, he said, my schedule is much more calm during these weeks because I typically would be flying everywhere to race anyway. So he seemed way more grounded and kind of relaxed during those 2 weeks than what I would have expected him to be.
When you think about all the work that goes in from the people, you know, the brainiacs who are looking at wind resistance and trying to design everything to make sure it's within specs, to the thankless job of the pit crew where, you know, now if you take 6 seconds to change a tire, it's a disaster and you get fired. You know, it's almost like a little clip-on tires. What was it like when you got up close with those guys who do the hard work and we don't even know their names?
To me, that is the most fun part of filming, is watching the car pit and seeing these guys in action. Sometimes gals every now and then, but just the orchestration, the dance that they have to perform to make these pit stops run so smoothly and so quickly. Clearly, it's so much talent there, and understanding where these pit crew members come from. They're very high-performing athletes in some other sport, be it football or soccer or whatever. You know, these are folks that are accomplished in another sport before coming to NASCAR or wherever they end up. And so there's just a lot to learn from these guys, I think.
What was maybe one or two things that, because we think we know once we get close enough, and then when we get in the weeds, we're like, oh, wow, I never knew that, maybe about Kyle or the sport or anything that you learned once you were in it 24/7?
I think for me is watching how quickly Kyle can move on from something that someone else would seem as a negative moment, you know, or a failure. He never calls anything really a failure, but he just has this unique ability to put whatever is in the rearview mirror way back there and look forward. And I've never seen anybody who can do it that quickly. And maybe it's just because he races so often and he's taught himself how to do that. Like, you know, if he had a DNF and it was clearly a disappointment for him, the next morning I'm with him and it's like it never happened. So that's one thing I really was surprised about with him.
And then finally, the merch is crazy. And literally, you can get women's panties with a 5 on them. So what were some of the crazy fanatics that are obsessed with all the riders, but specifically Kyle? What did you see that was kind of nuts?
Well, I just want to state that I do not have a pair of those panties.
Even though you could have got them free, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, people are always at the merch trailer, and we filmed a lot there. There's a lot of stuff that's not in the film that are just so fun to watch and as fans. And, you know, especially like at the dirt track races, seeing them lined up, and they have all these things that he's going to sign, and he sits there and talks to every single person, takes a photo with every person that shows up, signs whatever they bring. And I don't know if I would have that kind of patience, but he knows that's, I think, a part of what his job is, and he's an ambassador for this sport, and he was willing to do whatever, and he appreciates that fan base. And he makes good merch. So I don't know who's in charge of it, but I appreciate it.
Those are
I do have the hat that let's see, what does it say? It says
Hendrick
Go
Cars.
Caitlin's husband.
Oh.
No, that's my hat I have is Go Caitlin's husband.
Very good. All right, this is going to be a lot of fun. As I mentioned, it's a Prime original. You can see it on the 21st of this month. Kyle Larson versus The Double by the very accomplished filmmaker and our guest, Cynthia Hill. Cynthia, congratulations on this, and let's catch up on your next project.
Thank you. I look forward to that.
All right, good stuff. I always wonder, too, because there's certain soccer merch overseas where you can get women's panties, and it's obviously for the woman. Like, the man doesn't see the logo on the panties, and you think of 11 sweaty men. Hey, man, if people are buying them, you should sell them. America! All right, come on back. Speaking of soccer, Nick Greene will join us on the other side.
Fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. The America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call and save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payment's interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this number right now.
800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. That's 800-832-2816.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Oh, there's a fight going on here between two Newcastle players. Kieran Dyer and Lee Bowyer are having a fight. Goodness me, what on earth is going on? I have never seen such a thing. Lee Bowyer and Kieran Dyer suddenly were at each other's throats.
Rick Tittle, you done broke my heart, but I still take you back. You hella fine.
All right, we're waiting on our guest. And when he feels like flogging his book, I guess he'll give us a call. 1-800-878-PLAY. Sorry to report that Craig Morton has passed away at the age of 83. Craig Morton played for the Cowboys and the Donkeys, and in fact, he played in 2 Super Bowls, by the way. He went to Cal, and he was the 5th overall pick by the Cowboys in 1965 out of Cal. And he took over for Don Meredith, and the Cowboys won the NFC title, and in the championship game, he nearly guided the Cowboys to victory in Super Bowl V. Touchdown pass to Dwayne Thomas gave Dallas a 13-6 lead over the Colts going to halftime, but the Colts pulled it out. That was that very famous field goal, Sullivan, to win the game for Baltimore. And then he started the next year, and then they lost to Washington in the NFC Championship game. Of course, Washington in that Super Bowl against the undefeated Dolphins, the only score they had was the Garo Yepremian, I can't call it a pass. You know that play, Dom? Garo Yepremian in the Super Bowl. You should look it up sometime. It's the most hilarious. He is, I want to say he was from Armenia, but he never threw football in his life. There was a bad snap, and he tried to throw it, and it was like he picked up a pound of butter, and as he threw it, the guy from the Redskins took it and ran it in for a touchdown. That was the only score that the Redskins had in that game.
It's not often that I see a professional athlete flub. I think, I could do better than that, because I can't.
Can you believe it?
I could have made a better effort than that.
And you can't call it a pass because it's...
I mean, it went forward, but it was definitely more of a fumble.
Yeah, it was like a fumble from your helmet or something.
It was a fumble, a bobble.
But see, isn't that great? I just mention it, and like when I was in college, there'd be no way to see it, and in 3 seconds, Dominic can see it. So that's pretty cool. But then the Cowboys sucked, and they sent him to Denver, and I hated Craig Morton as a kid because the Broncos are my most hated team in any sport. And I was 12 years old, and the Raiders won Super Bowl 11, and they should have gone to the Super Bowl again. It's for Super Bowl 12. But Rob Lytle fumbled when Jack Tatum hit him, and Ben Dreith said, no fumble, he was down. And nowadays, this is why we have instant replay over horrifying moments like this. So the Raiders didn't go to the Super Bowl, and it was the Orange Crush. We're the Orange Crush. And I just burned with hatred for Craig Morton. And so like, he went to Cal. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not some golden domer where, if you went to Notre Dame, I'll always love you. And he, in the Super Bowl, 4 for 15 for 39 yards and 4 interceptions. And it was against those same Cowboys that he used to play for, and they got crushed. So he retired when I was in high school, actually. And anyway, I'm not saying I wanted him to die or anything sinister like that. I just had pure hate for him. Pure hate. By the way, I just got a text from the president of Sports Byline, and he signed the wall. He wrote, "Ron, you're a pro's pro, Craig Morton!" ! That's for Ron Barr. If anybody wants to know who Ron is. Of course we know who Ron Barr is. 1-800-878-PLAY is the number to call to get in and get heard wherever you might happen to be. All right, it's always great when we get bulletin board banter, like the alliteration. And Steve Sarkisian, who was a great quarterback at BYU back in the day, and then he went on to become a coach. He was the quarterback coach of the Raiders in the Super Bowl 37, actually. He was offered the head job, and he said, no thanks. And then when he was at USC, by the way, so did Pat Hill and Russ Grimm and Ken Wisenhunt. And did I mention Pat Hill? Yeah. Anyway, Tom Cable took it. Tom Cable always had these moments when I would go to those press conferences, and somebody would say something, he would go, and he'd stop, and he'd look up real mad, and I thought kind of like we were pupils, and he was a teacher who was going to snap on us. But he never did, but it always looked like he was going to snap on us. But anyway, remember when Sarkisian was at USC, I'll get to the bulletin board banter in a second here, but when he was at USC, he had alcoholism, and he humiliated the school on several occasions. He was warned. And finally, the story was, I wasn't there, that he stood up on a table and screamed some stuff and was a big drunken lout at an event. And Pat Hayden and Mike Garrett, the AD and the former Heisman Trophy winner, fired him, and then he sued the state of California because you can't get fired for having a disease. And then that gets into the whole thing. I remember one time I had an argument with Greg Papa on the air because he said alcoholism is a disease. And I was like, no, it's not. I didn't do the Norm Macdonald, like the only disease where you have fun and you laugh and you might hook up. But I think it's definitely a severe problem, and it's an addiction, and I don't know, but whatever. Okay, I don't want to make people mad at me. It's a disease. But anyway, so Sarkisian. Rick, stick to your guns. Not today. He's, of course, the head coach for the Longhorns now. And he was having a go at Ole Miss. Just a little bit of a go. Oh, we'll get to that in a second. We have located our guest. And by the way, Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. And we have author Nick Greene. He wrote a very successful book entitled How to Watch Basketball Like a Genius. Well, he has a new book out today from Abrams Press. It's entitled How to Watch Soccer Like a Genius, subtitled What Architects, Stunt Women, Paleoanthropologists, and Computer Scientists Reveal About the World's Game. Nick, welcome to the show. First of all, I'm an East Bay guy. Are you from there originally, too?
I'm from Chicago originally, but I live in the East Bay now.
All right. Then we'll move on. I remember I'm a big soccer guy for my whole life, so you're preaching to the choir. But I know there are guys like, we used to have this radio host here in San Francisco named Ralph Barbieri, and he said, all I see are guys standing around and the ball just bounce around in the midfield. So I don't think Americans are that naive or ignorant anymore. I think we can appreciate a nice through ball and an offside trap, what have you. But when you start getting into architects and paleoanthropologists, what's going on in your book here?
Yeah, that's sort of a side effect of my own broken brain. I don't really think linearly. I'm the kind of person that gets lost in the Wikipedia wormhole for 3 hours, that kind of thing. So when writing a story about the history of a sport like soccer, it brings up all sorts of different things in my mind, and I like to sort of pursue those as well, and hopefully tie it back and sort of give a fuller and more broad picture of the game itself. And when you look at a soccer pitch, for example, that's in a way a piece of architecture. So what would an architect have to say about that? And you bring up sort of the interesting and definitely true point of the fact that Americans, I guess, bristle at some aspects of the game. I think it's different now than it used to be, but it definitely is still there. And I like to sort of address those issues head on. The lack of scoring, as it were, the propensity of tie and draw games and things like that, and realize why those things exist, the history of them, but and what it sort of how it makes for a different game than what we might be used to, and something I think is really nuanced and textured and wonderful and frustrating and beautiful and worth watching.
How do stunt women get involved in this book?
I went deep into diving and flopping, and she's someone who gets hit by cars for a living. Sort of tells about whether it's important to feel the contact first or to anticipate the contact, and you have to make it as convincing as possible, obviously for the screen and for the pitch. And I watched a bunch of Luis Suarez diving highlights with her, and she reviewed them and gave me her take on them. And she's one of the many geniuses I tapped into. I always have to reiterate that the genius in the title of the book has nothing to do with me. And anyone who knows me would laugh out loud if they saw that title. The genius is all of the people I talk to, and I think they give a pretty useful input and perspective.
Yeah, when Suarez isn't biting people or doing a heroic handball. All right, we have time for one more question real quick. What is going on with neuroscientists in this?
With neuroscientists, well, there's it's funny. I got to remember my own book. I think there's one person I talked to about time. As you know, soccer is the only sport that grows. The clock doesn't count down towards zero. It keeps expanding. There's stoppage time, which is added at the discretion of the referee to make up for lost time. And I spoke to someone who specializes in time perception, how humans perceive time, because it is a whole field of study. And it is true that when your team has a narrow lead, a 1-goal lead, and there's 5 minutes of stoppage time, well, that 5 minutes feels like 10, 15 minutes or longer. And the opposite is true as well. I speak to him about sort of why that is, and also the repercussions on that phenomenon elsewhere. And he's done lots of studies, and it's not that time flies and you're having fun. That's not necessarily true. It's there's a whole bit about motivation, isn't there? That motivated fun is sort of the key driver there. It's not just fun. It's you need to have a motive. Scoring a goal, for example. That's what really plays with time perception. So in talking to him about that, I got to learn about how we watch soccer and also sort of how to make our days go by a little more pleasantly.
All right, pick it up. It's brand new today from Abrams Press. As I said, How to Watch Soccer Like a Genius, what architects, stunt women, paleoanthropologists, and computer scientists reveal about the world's game. From our guest, Nick Greene. Nick, congrats on the book. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Byline.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. That's 800-853-8931.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Picked on by Woodgate, who's playing further and further forward. Huddleston, Modric, there to be hit, deflection, hit the post, Lennon, 4-4, unbelievable.
Was just trying to keep it real and stay sucker-free.
All right, just to finish the Sark story, he was having to go at Ole Miss for stealing Luke Farrelly, the Cal linebacker from Clemson, when Clemson already had him enrolled in class and he had an apartment and a car, and they threw an extra $1 million at him. So this is what Sark said about Ole Miss. At Texas, we will only take 50% of a player's academic credit hours. You may be a semester from graduating, but if you're going all the way back to 50%, if you play here and want a degree. But at Ole Miss, they can take you. All you have to do is take basket weaving, and you can get an Ole Miss degree. Shots fired, as the kids would say. That's pretty amazing in today's world, and I'm sure there are people in Oxford, Mississippi that are none too pleased with that. All right, as I said, bulletin board banter. We got another hour, so come on back.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. Well, Philadelphia fans, at least the Phillies took the last two from Colorado to take that series. All sarcasm aside, the Flyers hockey team is very raw but also very talented. They made a huge step up this season, and there's no shame in getting swept by an elite unit like the Carolina Hurricanes. That same courtesy can't really be extended to the 76ers, who were also swept by the New York Knicks, who now advance to the NBA Eastern Conference Finals for the second year in a row. And a lot of that credit goes to the Knicks, who have found another gear after sleepwalking through games 2 and 3 against Atlanta in the first round. They treated this series as if it was a tune-up fight with a lower-rated opponent they wanted to get out of the way quickly because their big money fight was next. And it is. Making the conference finals wasn't the goal. Beating Detroit and winning it is. I mean, it's why Tom Thibodeau got fired last year and why Mike Brown is there. It's why people were beginning prayer circles for Billy Donovan prior to Game 4 against Atlanta. The Knicks' entire season comes down to beating Detroit, and if it happens to be Cleveland, so be it. Beat them with the same energy. And the lack of energy is what did in the Sixers, who couldn't maintain any positive momentum coming out of the Boston series. They were tired and looked weak. Joel Embiid missed multiple games in each series again. Whatever giggles are left over from the trust the process days have been snuffed, and his future in the city is in question as he's set to begin making $60 million a year. He hasn't been able to play as much as he can with Paul George, who the Sixers both need on the floor to win. George tried, but he also couldn't bring enough to the table, which is troubling for a team that felt as though they could win now. Their shooters, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Quentin Grimes, and Justin Edwards, were stifled all series, finishing with a dud on Sunday, shooting a combined 15 of 45 and 3 of 24 from 3. Maxey, who was tremendous throughout the Celtics series, shrunk under the Knicks' relentless pressure, while his counterpart Jalen Brunson ran wild, scoring 116 points in 129 minutes and hearing MVP chants inside Xfinity Mobile. New York's bench outscored Philadelphia's 137-104 during the series and probably would have beaten the Sixers starters if they had been asked. After basically begging their fans not to sell their tickets, Philadelphia laid an egg for 3 games and then got swept off the floor in their home building, which really did become MSG South on Sunday. I know the Sixers have committed to this roster, but after 25 years of not making it out of the second round of the playoffs, after watching this, I'm not sure next year is going to yield much different results. I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-Minute Warning.
Every champion has a team behind them, and for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it, because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers, their mission, rooted in compassion, their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at innovativewellness.center and your complimentary consultation today.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busy work. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports. I hate that guy. I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T is a hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Lots of open lines. 1-800-878-PLAY this hour. I'm Rick Tittle. Thanks for joining us. I always say politicians in sports, it's humiliating. You know, it's humiliating. Unless it's like Jack Kemp or Steve Largent or, Bill Bradley, guys that actually played. But let's thank Sammy Sousser and Mike McGuire. That was Ted Kennedy. Didn't even get the Irish guy's name right. Sammy Sousser. And it just, I give you a million examples, but I can give you one from the Indiana football team yesterday visiting the White House, Coach Cignetti there. And Trump started talking about Fernando Mendoza, and he goes, he's a big fan of mine, blah, blah, blah. He can't make it. And he turned to Cignetti and he goes, because he's at spring training, right? And Cignetti nodded. And I don't blame them for not having the cojones of correcting him, because it doesn't matter. He thinks football players go to spring training. See, as a sports dork like myself, that's an abomination. I mean, it's almost as dumb as saying, my favorite part of the Super Bowl is when Steph Curry hit a home run. What? He's at spring training. Yeah, he's in Mesa. He's in the batting cage right now. I'm sure that didn't mean anything to anyone. No one cared. I'm the one who thought, oh my gosh. I don't care what party you're with. Politicians and sports, it's 99% of the time just humiliating. All right. I also like this backlash from all the jokes from the Kevin Hart roast. It's comedy. If you're going to be offended, don't watch. Okay? And then just cherry pick what offends you. Holocaust jokes, fine. The Charlie Kirk joke, that's out of line. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Either watch it or don't watch it. And shut up. I make the rules, so come on back.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing a doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. Over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today. Ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. That's 800-690-8223. Right now, you can switch from cable television to satellite television for free. That's why we're offering free equipment, free installation, plus get a free $100 prepaid Visa card. Call the Satellite TV hotline right now. Make the switch from cable to satellite television and expand your viewing horizon. On top of free installation, for a limited time, we're offering a fixed price guarantee. With Satellite TV, you'll save money over your expensive cable bill. Plus, get access to hundreds of channels. And when you call right now, you can also ask about our seniors and military discounts. So make the switch to Satellite TV right now. Everybody gets free installation, free equipment, plus a $100 prepaid Visa card. Call right now, and you can switch to satellite TV and be watching everything you want to within the week. And remember, installation's free, so call right now. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is, however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money, and you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle he's so handsome. He's a genius.
Excited to be back on the Rick Tittle Show.
Thank you, Triumph. Welcome back to the Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast, out of San Francisco and around the world on American Forces Radio Network. It's 11:12, and our friend, as we usually do at this time, J. Sharp from Pro Wagering, professional sports handicapper and prognosticator. It's funny, JD, we were just talking yesterday about some of the guys and potential NBA draft picks, and they started the basketball combine. And, of course, one of the interesting things, which I think is cool, is that a player can get a lot of love and he has eligibility. He can go back to college, which I think is good not to commit until you kind of see what happens. But we were both talking about how we like Alex Caravan, and they had everybody shoot 25 threes, and he hit 18. That's 72%. But they still think he's a day two pick. So for me, when you look, I know he's not Con Knuppel, but he's maybe Con Knuppel light. Do you think he's a first pick?
I don't know. I mean, again, he's definitely a really good athlete. He's definitely a very, very experienced, great shooter, good enough athlete. He has size. He's contributing level. He can attack too. I mean, is he a lottery pick? No. But could he sneak in at the end of round one? Absolutely. He could sneak in, I think. He could be a 25 to 31 or 32. I see that. But, I mean, he's definitely going to get drafted. We know that. And I think he's the type of guy that if he lands on the right team, he could, imagine if the Thunder added him to what he has. He would be an instant contributor. He would hit threes. He would be Jared McCain, but he plays defense, right? And he's taller, and he can attack the glass as well. So a team like the Thunder, a team like the Pistons, he'd be a good Piston, I think. He'd be a good Knick. I mean, really any good defensive team that relies on the three quite a bit and has a somewhat complicated offense with a good point guard. I think he would do well on that team. So yeah, he definitely is one of the most successful college players in quite some time. And it's good that he's going to get drafted, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did sneak in at the end of round one.
Yeah, like a Kyle Korver type of guy. And you think about LeBron has been crying forever for the Knicks to get a three-point shooter. I don't know. I got to agree with you in the 20s. Now, another guy we're talking about that you liked is Derek DeCuff and at Arkansas, and he's getting a lot of rave reviews because apparently he's bigger than people thought. It's usually the other way around. They list people like, Diego Pavia is 6'2", and they see him and he's 5'9". But apparently people thought he was small. His bare feet, a cuff is 6'2", the arm length or wingspan 6'7", and now people feel a lot better about it. I guess they thought he was smaller.
No, he's listed at 6'3", $195, and I think that's right. Now, 6'7" wingspan is kind of exciting as well. But I mean, he dribbles really well. He attacks. He shoots threes. He distributes when he has to. He's a horrendous defensive player. He's an awful defensive player. But I think that he's a good enough offensive player that he can impact. He could start at point guard for a lot of teams in the NBA. A lot of teams, honestly. So, not shocked. If you watch his games, he was always able to. He's probably got a 33, 36-inch vertical. He's not an amazing athlete, but he's a good enough athlete. But he's really good at creating his shot. But he was able to attack the glass and over people on a pretty consistent basis. And you can't do that if you're 6'1", 6 foot. There's a big difference between 6'2.5" or 6'3" and 6'4". So I'm not shocked at all that he's that size, and I think that A-Cup is going to be a very good point guard in the NBA.
The exact same size as Kingston Flemings, who is the best defender. He had almost 2 steals per game. So maybe if you can combine those two guys together, you'd have a perfect point guard, right?
There you go. Exactly.
All right. So the other thing I wanted to get to is that, for me, because the Warriors have been mocked to this guy, Kareem Lopez, who's a Mexican player who plays in New Zealand. And to me, everything I read about him is exactly Guy Santos, a guy that we already have out here in the Bay Area. And then they have Yaxel Lendeborg going after him. Now, the Warriors have been burned by drafting for potential when they draft teenagers like Kuminga and Wiseman. And, Kuminga's an NBA player with Atlanta. Wiseman is out of the league. That was all potential. Lendeborg's going to be 24. We talked about him. You don't have to wait for him to develop. So out of those 3 Michigan players that are going to be first-round picks with Mara, Lendeborg, and Merez Johnson, what do you think about those guys?
Mara's 7'3", 7'4", 250. He's got a very comfortable face. He's tough to watch. But he's got good hands. He obviously blocks shots. He shoots free throws well. He's going to be drafted. Is he going to be a first-round pick? Probably. He'll probably be. He might be like 17. I could see a team falling in love with his size. I could see it. Again, I think Lendeborg is a top 5 player in college basketball. He should be a top 5 pick in the NBA. He was one of the best players last year in college basketball. He's got the size. He can shoot. He can. He's a good enough athlete. He's got the pedigree. Both his parents played. I think his mom played for the Mexican national team or something like that, or the Puerto Rican national team, or the Venezuelan, or the DR, something like that. But he was. So he's definitely got the background to be a really good NBA player. And then Merez Johnson is a very good rebounder. He is he could finish good enough inside. I think he's a Ben Wallace type of player. Obviously, he's not as physically intimidating or dominating as Ben Wallace. But I think that Merez Johnson could be a pretty good player as well. So, yeah, I think my number 1 is obviously Lendeborg, and then probably number 2 would be Mara because he does have such upside. But Merez Johnson, he can clean up the glass. I think he's probably decent enough at 6'9", 260. He's probably a decent enough athlete to contribute at the next level as well.
All right, and then finally, I want to ask you about Cole Pete from Arizona, because when they did the 3-pointers, he took 25, and he hit only 6, and this is with no one guarding him. And he's going to go in the 20s, but maybe a guy go back to Tucson and be a top 5 pick next year. I don't know. If you have a chance to be a first-round pick, do you just take it, or do you stay in school and get a little NIL, get better, because he did not impress at the combine?
Yeah, Cole Pete's a really good athlete. He's a really explosive athlete. He's going to be. He's like Aaron Gordon type of explosive athlete. He's not as good as a shooter, obviously, as Gordon is, but he finishes really well. 6'8", 230, 240. He definitely has the body to play in the NBA. It's probably just a money situation. He's going to be he should be a top 15, top 15 pick. Cole Pete was pretty dominant for most of the year. Didn't play great against Michigan, but he was pretty dominant for most of the year. And I think we're going to see some major explosion. Did he do his vertical or not? Probably not.
I don't have all the stats. I'm sure he did his vertical.
Yeah, because I'd be shocked if he's not a 38 to 42-inch guy on the vertical leap. He explodes. He's got a big build. He's going to be able to score him out. I think he's big enough. I would agree with you if he was like 6'8", 220, 215. This guy's 240 all day. So I mean, he has the size. He could go back to college and dominate, but I still think he's a top 20 pick.
All right. Hey, if you have a question about, as you can tell, JD knows lots of different sports. Email him sharp@betmypicks.com. He is with Pro Wagering. And JD, always appreciate your time. Thanks, bud.
Hey, thanks a lot, Rick.
All right. And we have open lines the rest of the show. So don't be shy. 1-800-878-7529.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work, real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you just don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not seeing the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract, even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So listen, if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. That's 800-826-4073.
Special too. See, look, see, got the old tagger on it. See, never even played it. See, you just touch it. Don't touch it.
I wasn't going to touch it.
No, don't touch it.
I was just pointing at it.
Well, don't point even.
Don't even point?
No, it can't be played. Never. I mean,
can I look at it?
No, you've seen
Don't
enough
look
of
at
that one.
I'm so disgusted by Rick Tittle that I find him very intoxicating.
All right, thank you for that. By the way, just to yell at some clouds and trees, old man yelling. There are two things that bug me. Well, there are a million things that bug me on the internet. There's two things that bug me when I'm just looking for some information. And that just happened during the break. It just said Thomas Tuchel named his 55-man preliminary squad for the English World Cup team. Okay, and I clicked on it, and it said, yeah, these 4 guys are on it, and others. Where's the list? It's just brutal. The other thing is when you would say, what year did they sign the Declaration of Independence? All right, let's say you're not American and you don't know that. And you click on a link, and instead of it just saying July 4th, 1776, it would say, the Americans, they used to be redcoats. They were subjects of their King George. And then they got mad, and then in the 15th paragraph, and therefore they signed I hate that. Don't write me a term paper. When I say Garo Upremian, I want that highlight to pop up. That's right. All right. 1-800-878-PLAY. Now, this is always, lame, but it's pertinent, so we got to talk about it because this what comes to CBAs, the Continental Basketball Association. Do you remember the CBA, Don? The CBA, the Continental Basketball Association? I think you're too young. It was the NBA minor league, and that was something that you would play for the Columbus Owls or something. And there were some players like Ron Harper and others that had to go to the CBA first. But that was, you're not good enough in the NBA, and you don't want to play in Israel or Ireland or Italy or Spain, so you play in the CBA. Now the CBA is the collective bargaining agreement. It's sort of like PSL was personal seat license. Now a PSL is a pumpkin spice latte. It depends where you're from. LT meant Lawrence Taylor. Now it means LaDainian Tomlinson. I can go on, but I won't. Thank goodness. The collective bargaining agreement for baseball expires December 1st. So why do I care? Well, because today, according to The Athletic, negotiations have begun. Aha. Wow. So the league and the union will present their view during these initial meetings, and then formal proposals, counter-proposals will come later. So guess what the issue is? I don't even need to be there. Neither do you. We already know. The owners will do a salary cap. Do you know the first time salary cap was mentioned in baseball? Do you know? Because I do. It was 1880, before there was even a union. 1880. So almost 150 years they've been trying to get a salary cap. The union has always resisted, and they will again. Now, I think what has given owners hope was the lockout with hockey, because the hockey union said we will never do a salary cap, and they got one. The NFL, when DeBartolo was playing Young in Montana the same money, we'll never do a salary cap. They did. So baseball's the last sport holding out, and I don't see them ever giving that up. Now, this whole thing about revenue, how much do we get? How much do you get? How much TV money's pulling in? Yeah, but we should get this percentage, blah, blah, blah. So the CBA, as usual, is about money. Everything else is secondary. There's this giant pile of money, and there's people on both sides that haggle. And whatever piece you give them is not big enough. And so MLB has done a good job selling a salary cap as a necessary component to improve the competitive balance. And, of course, that will restrict player salaries, and that will boost franchise values. So, as I said, the only non-capped league in America it is easy to be like the doom scenario and think, oh no, this means that we're going to miss games, a strike or a lockout. There's no way of knowing that. And by the way, the national TV deals for MLB, they are up in 2028. So not tomorrow, but not in the way distant future either. So a salary cap is not a simple yes or no item, right? Because let's say the MLB relented, the union, and agreed to a cap. Then they'd have to agree on how it would work. What would count as baseball-related revenue? How much would the players receive? What's the cap? What's the floor? How do you implement it? But it's not going to happen. Now, the other thing, as I mentioned, revenue sharing. And that's going to be adjusted with or without a cap, without, as well as a postseason format. That'll get talked about. The league always wants more. The players always want less. The international draft, if that would be a thing. You know, in the old days, you would send your scout to Commerce, Oklahoma, and find Mickey Mantle. Do you want to sign with the New York Yankees? Wow. Yes, please. Well, now everybody knows. I remember talking to Shooty Babbitt when he was a Mets scout. He says, I can watch everything on my computer. Everybody has video now. It's good to go there, but you don't have to. Yeah. But in the international world, it doesn't work that way. You don't draft. You still can go to Freddie Peralta, the guy who idolized him, I should say, King Felix Hernandez, and say, you want to go to the Yankees, the Red Sox? I want to go to the Mariners, like Freddie Peralta. What? I want to go to the Mariners. Oh. You want to Cespedes? You're going to Marlins, right? No, I want to get as far away from Cuba as possible and not even be in the National League. I'll go to the A's. So they're talking about an international draft and expansion. I think if I'm from Sacramento and I want Major League Baseball, because it's going away in a year and a half, but if I want Major League Baseball, I would say, well, that's too bad. It's kind of like Oakland. People say, well, Oakland, no, they're never coming back to Oakland. Oakland had their run. They're never coming back. Never. And anybody who spends money or time on that is wasting their time. It's the same thing in Sacramento. Well, actually, no. You're not even in the top 10. But even if you were, they're only going to pick 2 cities. And being in the top 5 doesn't help you. You got to be in the top 3 to have a chance. And Nashville and Montreal and Charlotte, all those, even Portland's ahead of you. I think Sacramento's a viable No, it's not. And even if it was, they're not picking you. So just let it go. With the expansion. Now, Rob Manfred, he's retiring at the end of his contract, not coming soon enough. January 2029. And he said, by the time I retire, expansion will be put into motion. In other words, no new teams, but 2 teams that will be picked. Now, of course, the union took a hit when Tony Clark, the former player with the amazing beard, the coat of Hammurabi, remember, he quit in February because he was having a relationship with his sister-in-law. Now, you think, well, morally, who cares? Well, the sister-in-law also worked for the union. Yeah, that ain't good. So Bruce Meyer, the lawyer, the lead negotiator, who players openly say, I hate that guy. We talked about that at the time. He is interim executive director because they say it will be seamless. Meyer said when he took the job, quote, we don't expect anything to change in terms of bargaining. We have been preparing for bargaining for years. Players have been preparing. Players know what's coming. At the end of the day, leadership is important, and leadership comes and goes. But what remains is the players. At the end of the day, does he talk like that? It's the players who determine the direction of the union. At the end of the day, it's the players who determine our priorities in bargaining. Those priorities obviously have not changed and will not change. I hate at the end of the day. It's so stupid. I just love the fact that we've been preparing for years. What, put money aside? I remember when there was an energy crisis, Jimmy Carter got on TV and said, "Can you guys not turn on the heat this winter and just put on lots of blankets?" Do you think Americans liked hearing that? Especially the ones in the East Coast and the Great Lake regions and the Dakotas. Do you think you liked it when the president said, "Hey, can you not turn on the heat and save fuel and just put on some extra blankets"? I mean, it's a good idea, but you don't want to say that when you're president. That looks like you've given up. You're not leading anymore. So negotiations are underway as we speak. And wouldn't it be great if they'd be like the WNBA and just knocked it out right now? Yeah, that'll happen. When you're on the clock, like the draft, we're going to milk every minute of it. Because what if a better deal comes up? I'm Tittle. Come on back on Sports Byline USA.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up their vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Do you have diabetes? I'm sure you've seen the television commercials on the new CGM devices from all the top brands and how well they can help you manage your diabetes. Do you have the latest and newest in diabetes technology? The Diabetes Solutions Center carries most of the top brands, and the great news is your insurance may cover most of the cost. Call our special CGM hotline today, and our friendly representatives will help see if you qualify. You could get a new CGM from the top brands at little or no cost to you. Make living with diabetes easier. You are just one free phone call away to learn if your insurance covers the cost. So make this free call today to the Diabetes Solutions Center and learn for free how to get your new continuous glucose monitor.
800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. That's 800-520-8629.
To me, it's like a mountain, a vast bowl of pus.
时间不会瞬间改变天空的颜色，别让我在黑夜看不清方向。记忆中的每幅画面不再是绿色，希望就会布满每一个角落，希望就会布满每一个角落。
Who cares about anything else when you've got Rick Tittle on the radio?
Thanks for tuning in, and lines are open at 1-800-878-7529. And this is really sad, just breaking news. It's really terrible that Memphis Grizzlies forward Brandon Clark has passed away. 29 years old, was the 21st pick in the 2019 draft by the Thunder, and then was quickly traded to Memphis. His agency said, "We are all beyond devastated by the passing of Brandon Clark. He was so loved by all of us here and everyone whose life he touched. He was the gentlest soul who was the first to be there for all of his friends and family. Our hearts are so broken as we think about his mom, Whitney, his entire family, and all of his friends and teammates. From high school to San Jose State to Gonzaga to the Grizzlies, Brandon impacted everyone who was part of his life. Everyone loved BC because he was always there as the most supportive friend you could ever imagine, and he was so unique in the joy he brought to all of those in his life. It is just impossible to put into words how much he will be missed," end quote. And when he was a rookie, he was on the all-rookie team. Very good defensive player. And 7 years in the league, very tough, as I mentioned, a defensive-minded guy. The Grizzlies said, quote, "We are heartbroken by the tragic loss of Brandon Clark. Brandon was an outstanding teammate and an even better person whose impact on the organization and the greater Memphis community will not be forgotten. We express our deepest condolences to his family and loved ones during this difficult time. Commissioner Adam Silver, we are devastated to learn of the passing of Brandon Clark. As one of the longest tenured members of the Grizzlies, Brandon was a beloved teammate and leader who played the game with enormous passion and grit. Our thoughts and sympathies are with Brandon's family, friends, and the Grizzlies organization." So it's amazing to think that at 29 years old, he was already, no pun intended for the Grizzlies, but a grizzled vet. And no cause of death has been stated, so it would do no good for me to speculate on that. But he's one of those guys who is not a big star, but he's really appreciated by his own team. And Tom, can you look up where he's from? Because if he went to San Jose State, he's probably from around here, because San Jose State does not pull in, because they're Division II.
Born in Vancouver.
Oh, he's Canadian, huh? Or Vancouver, Washington. Vancouver,
Canada.
All right, thank you for that. All right, well.
And then after San Jose State, transferred to Gonzaga.
Right, yeah, mentioned that, but closer to his native Canada. Anyway, that is not good. Sorry about that. That's bad. All right. 1-800-878-PLAY. I saw this little article on John Rahm, speaking of American colleges, Arizona State, but a Spanish national. And remember, in 2.5 years ago, November of 2023, he went to live golf. And, you think about where live golf now, which is nowhere. But he was one of the biggest stars to join, and he's still one of the biggest stars in golf. But it unquestionably affected his ability to play well in the major tournaments, because since leaving the tour, his best finish has been a tie for 7th twice. And does he want to get back? Now, live golf isn't officially dead, but they need somebody else to buy it, because Saudi Arabia's PIF, Public Investment Fund, they pulled out. And would the tour want him back? Yes, they would. And so after the PGA Championship, Rahm was asked by reporters whether he regrets going to live golf. I'm sure he doesn't regret the money. He said, quote, "I was never thinking that I was going to be any sort of weight that would tip the scales to make things come together. That was never an argument in my mind. When asked if it was a case for people to come together, that would be great. I never made a decision based on that. Now, I would also say that I made a lot of decisions in my life. I've never gone back thinking, oh, Had I known this again, I would do X and Y different. I could do that about 15 different golf shots on the golf course every single day. If I lived my life like that as a golfer, I would be a very pessimistic person. So we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and all we can do is learn from things that happened in the past, good and bad. Just to speculate on what could have done, what could have been different doesn't really make much sense. So I think it's a fair question, and I think it's a fair answer. So, do you regret going to that stupid league for all that money? And he's basically saying, well, I didn't know it was going to be a stupid league, did I? You think I would have joined if I thought it was going to be lame? You think I thought I would join now if, because I'm playing under no pressure every week, that it has affected my game, that I'm not, I've 2 tied for 7th in almost 3 years. But as I said, look, when you think about the future of LIV, and Rom said, yeah, it was something we've had to deal with. That week of Mexico and the last week, it's just something out of my control. I think I said it, that one of the talents I have in my life, fixing a business, is not one of them. I might be the wrong person for that. So my job is to play golf, luckily. I'm decent at it, and that's what I can focus on, right? What I can focus on is the next shot. It's the people in charge of LIV whose job it is. I do not envy for a second, not now, not when things are going good or bad. There's nothing I can do because it's their job to fix. So when it comes to compartmentalizing, when you see it from that point of view, there's really not much to it. I have faith in the work they're doing. I have faith that they're going to come up with a good plan. And he concludes, until that plan is explained to us, there's nothing to worry about. We don't need to pay any attention to it. So, since he swapped tours, he played in 8 majors. And I mentioned tied for 7th were the best ones. He even missed one cut. That was the 2024 PGA Championship at Valhalla. And, that's just not good enough for a guy of his talent. But isn't that interesting? Like when you're on the PGA Tour, and you're only going to get big money if you win, and you're playing against the best golfers in the world. And I'm not saying that the LIV golfers weren't great, but you already got your money, and you can get more. Yeah, you can get a lot more. But that obviously affects his performance. He comes back, and I don't know if it's the urgency or whatever. But, the second major has arrived, the PGA Championship, and it's, how do they say, Aronimink? Is that how they say the golf club? Aronimink? Oh, you don't know? Aronimink, Aronimink, I would probably say. Or it's Aronimink. Maybe it's Aronimink. But anyway, it's a golf club just outside of Philly. And Scotty Scheffler is the defending champion, fresh off 3 consecutive runner-ups. Of course, one of those came at the Masters, where Rory held off Scheffler, the frantic weekend, and had that huge lead and almost choked it away. Got a second consecutive green jacket and added a 6th major to his tally overall. But, absent from the leaderboard on that Sunday, where 2 of the biggest names on the LIV Golf Tour is Bryson DeChambeau, missed the cut, and Jon Rahm barely made the cut, and was tied for 38th. So the way they play and their choices, of course, are what they're going to do. Look, are we worried about millionaires? No, we're not worried about millionaires. But you look at Cameron Young and Matt Fitzpatrick have dominated the play on PGA Tour since the Mathers, and both have come into the PGA playing the best golf of their careers. And they, what the Wanamaker, I think it's called, the trophy. And so, as I said, DeChambeau, catastrophic miss at the Masters, and LIV Golf crumbling all around him. Never won a major outside of the U.S. Open. That's the one. He finished second in the last 2 PGA, top 4 the last 5. So we know what's going to happen. Like I said, DeChambeau has been dealing with all the noise we just talked about as well. But Cameron Young, and, I got the skinny on him before the Masters. I had a golf writer, and he said, watch out for Cameron Young. And then through the first round, he was like +2 or whatever. And then he came on gangbusters. But in his last 5 starts and at the Players Cadillac Championship, he's just been playing really great. And he's been dominating with his putter, drive for show, putt for dough. And he needs to win a major. And 28 years old, you feel like you have time. The PGA Tour is littered with guys who peaked and then dropped and then came back again. But then there's Jordan Spieth, and if you speaking of players who once the hottest star in the game who fell back to earth, Spieth is coming into the PGA Championship once again, looking to complete the career Grand Slam, and a shimmer of hope in his last one at Doral. Matt Fitzpatrick, as I mentioned, he's playing very good golf right now. And then there's Scotty Scheffler, the reigning champ, doesn't have a lot to prove, getting his first major win out of Augusta last year at Quail Hollow, and then adding another Open to close out the year. But the good news for Scheffler that he's been playing very well, and if he can become just the third player to go back-to-back at the PGA, that was Brooks Koepka, and of course Tiger did it twice. But then the other guys, Tommy Fleetwood, he's been playing really well. How do I, not mention Rory? He's right there. And if Rory wins his 7th major, he'll be tied with Palmer and Snead and Sarazen and Jones and Varden. Brooks Koepka, McIlroy's second Masters broke a Koepka for most major wins of this era. You wonder if he still has it in him. And apparently the reports on him is that everything's great except the putter right now. All right, so there's your little very rare but little, golf update for you. All right, let's go to a break and we will get on back on Byline.
Who's watching? Tell me who's watching? Who's watching me? I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Oh, when I come home at night, I roll the door.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call and save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payment's interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this number right now.
800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. That's 800-832-2816.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40! You take a mortal man and put him in control. Watch him become a god. Watch people's heads roll.
Don't ask Rick Tittle to bring it, because it already done got brought.
All right, thank you for checking out the show once again. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll do it again. One little note, if you're one of those people who likes to bet using your credit card on sports, that's not going to be allowed anymore. Huh? Yeah. And Ohio casino control, Colorado legislation, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, and DraftKings stopped it, FanDuel stopped it, Fanatic Sportsbook never started with it, and you can't use it at most U.S. sportsbook. But so why the change? It's just the gambling addiction and responsible gaming habits forum constantly being discussed. By banning credit cards as a way to deposit funds, and you can only wager money that you actually have. It's like if you ever tried to buy a gift card somewhere with a credit card, they don't allow it because they don't know if you're good for it. If you use an ATM card, it is cool, but you know, sports books have these regulatory issues when it comes to credit cards, and DraftKings was fined $450,000 last year in Massachusetts because they did take 1,000 credit card backed wagers when it violated state rules. By the way, and I know this comes off as smug or whatever, how you want to take it, but don't bet on sports. What a waste of money. Unless it's like $10, $20. I mean, if you're just having fun with it, then do it. I got $20 on it. When you're doing thousands and thousands, you're just going to chase your losses. You're going to bet on human beings who choke. Other than that, it's great. I'm Rick Tittle. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time.